Welcome to the JS Self-Care Mind, Body, and Soul podcast, a weekly conversation about your self-care, your personal development, and all the decisions we can make to become the best possible versions of ourselves. I am your host, Janelle. I am a social worker, a self-care life coach, an advocate for the effects of parental substance abuse. I am based out of New York. For more information, make sure that you visit my website at jsselfcare.org. I want to welcome my new listeners, and I also want to welcome my returning listeners. If you can please share this episode, because there's someone in this world who needs to listen to this episode. I also want to personally thank you for making the JS Self-Care Mind, Body, and Soul podcast part of your weekly routine. I truly, truly appreciate you. I appreciate you for listening every week. And if you're new, I hope you enjoy this podcast. This week, we're talking about the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Does it mean that everyone have to have a growth mindset? I would love that, but some people have a fixed mindset. I know I've had a fixed mindset for many years. I didn't want to change for no freaking body. I used to say, take me as I am or don't take me at all. But now I have a growth mindset. So let's get into growth mindset. Let's learn what it's all about. And let's get into fixed mindset and let's learn what that's all about. And if any of these resonate with you and you want to further this conversation, make sure you visit my website at jsselfcare.org. As I've stated, I now have a growth mindset, meaning who I was yesterday is not who I am today. And who I am today is not going to be who I'm going to be tomorrow, because I grow and evolve every single day. Some call it being fake and some call it being phony. I call it a growth mindset. A growth mindset means that you believe your intelligence and talents can be developed over time. A fixed mindset means that you believe intelligence is fixed. So if you're not good at something, you'll never believe you are good at something. Does any of these mindsets resonate with you? Do you have a growth mindset or do you have a fixed mindset? Let's discuss a few examples of a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And then I want you to ask yourself the question, do I really have a growth mindset or do I have a fixed mindset? Don't answer yet. Ask yourself at the end of this episode. First example of a fixed mindset is a person with a fixed mindset would avoid challenges because of the fear of failure. An example, I'm not going to do such and such because I know I'm not going to go do it well. I'm going to fail. So why bother? If you say that to yourself, in that area, you have a fixed mindset. Don't be afraid of failure. Failure could come anytime it wants to, because I always tell you, failure teaches lessons. Success does not teach us any lessons. Our next fixed mindset example is a person who avoids hard labor, not getting my hands dirty. An example, I'm not going to open my business. I'm not going to look for a job. I'm not going back to school, because all of those things requires way too much work. That's that hard labor. If you have a fixed mindset, you will say that to yourself. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm not doing the work. I'm just going to be little old me and just sit in my little old bubble, because I cannot do any hard work. Because one, we don't do hard work because we're afraid of the outcome. But a person that avoids hard labor has a fixed mindset. Another example of a person with a fixed mindset, they feel threatened by others' success. Like when people make it, they're like, oh, why they doing that? Oh, I got to get on my A game. She can't be doing better than me. They literally feel threatened by others' success. They may tell the person, yeah, I'm happy for you. But in the back of their mind, they're like, I really got to get my shit together. Look at her doing it. Instead of literally being happy. An example of a person who feels threatened by others' success is so and so opened their business and is doing super well. I'm going to open my business and do even better than so and so. That's where those hating feelings, we call it, oh, you hating. Sometimes it's just not a person really hating. Sometimes they're just threatened by someone else's success. Sometimes it actually puts fire to your feet, fire to your booty, and make you want to do, but genuinely be happy for other people's success. Don't be threatened by their success, because I always say what is for you will be for you. Don't go out there and try to do the same thing and try to outdo somebody, because it's going to fail, because you're not them. Do what's best for you. That's how you elevate from that fixed mindset. Another example of a person with a fixed mindset is a person who says either I'm good at something or I'm not. Like there's no in between. An example, I'm only going to do the things I'm good at, and I'm not touching on anything I'm not good at, because you don't want to do that work. That hard labor once again fits into that. You can do whatever you put your mind to. Stop saying either I'm good at this or I'm not good at this. If you want to be good, if you want to be great at something, you have to work towards being great. Greatness does not just happen. It just does not fly out the sky and like, I'm going to be great at this. You are good at the things that are for you when you leave that hating mentality. So you are good if you put that hating mentality to the side and have that growth mindset and say, you know what? I may not be good at this right now, but I'm going to keep at it and I will get better day by day. A person with a fixed mindset will say, I can't learn now. It's too late for me. I'm way too old to be learning new things. An example of this is, you ever heard that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Well, you can. You can learn something new every day. We have Google University and YouTube University. You could graduate from both with honors. You have to get rid of that fixed mindset where you're too old. You're already set in your ways. I'm me. I ain't changing. You can change. You just don't want to change. And instead of saying, I don't want to change, I don't want to learn nothing new, we come up with these sayings like, I'm too old for that. Those are called sayings and excuses. You're never too old to learn. A person with a fixed mindset usually says, I can't make things any better. It is what it is. Throw up their hands and just like, I give up. That's it. I can't make it better. I'm not going to listen. I'm done. Look, it is what it is. That's what they say. It is what it is. Ain't nobody changing nothing. Just take it for what it is. That's a person with a fixed mindset. They can throw up their hand, throw in the towel real quick. If I can't make it better, I'm not going to try. A person with a growth mindset sits back and thinks, how can I make it better? Is there a way? If there's absolutely no way, then there's no way. You throw the towel in. But always remember, if there's a will, there's always a way. You have to step away from the negative self-talk and stop saying it is what it is. Step back, breathe, and then go back at it and say, how can I make things better for me, for my family, for my community? Whatever it is you want to make better, but there's always a will. There's always a way. Our last fixed mindset example is, I've always been told by others that I can't do certain things. Are you that type of person where the adults told you can't do nothing? You ain't going to amount to nothing. Since a child, I was told I was going to amount to nothing. So why bother going out and trying to do better? Sometimes you have to shame the devil. You have to shame that devil. Get out of that. People are always going to talk. You cannot stop people from yapping their gums. But what you can do is elevate and grow. I don't care what you were told in life, that you were going to amount to nothing, you were going to jail, you wasn't going to be nothing. Whatever you were told, change people's narrative. Change that narrative. You can do anything you want to do. All you got to do is put in the work and put your mind to it. Let's get into the growth mindset. These are for those people who have a growth mindset. They say, it's never too late to learn. Remember, I told you, I grow and evolve every day. I'm not the same person who I was yesterday, that I'm today, and who I'm going to be tomorrow. I just won't be the same person. You have the power to learn something new every day. Hey, in this day and age, we have YouTube and Google University. You will graduate from those two universities. All you have to do is want to learn something new every day. Google it. Hey, why is the sky sometimes gray? Because it's going to rain. Google it. Whatever questions you have, you can learn. You don't have to go to school to learn only. You can learn on your own with YouTube and Google. A growth mindset means it's never too late to learn. Our next growth mindset example is, it's okay if you failed. At least you learned something along the way. You heard me? It's okay that you failed. Did you learn something along the way? That's what's important. You can literally fail 5,000 times. The goal is to keep going and learn as you go. The goal is growth and evolving. You need to grow daily and you need to evolve as an individual daily. Our next growth mindset example is model the work of others who have been successful in the past. Sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Model what others have done. I model Iyanla Vanzant sometimes when I'm working with my clients on the coaching side. I even model Dr. Phil. He's my favorite. I model their work. I don't do exactly what they do because I cannot be Iyanla Vanzant and I surely can't be Dr. Phil, but I model their work. I have my own discoveries when I'm modeling others' work. It's not about reinventing the wheel, but I'm doing something that I want to do. So why not look at how successful they've done in their work? Why not watch their episodes? Why not learn from what they're saying and then coming up with your own discoveries like, wow, I could have done this. I could do this. That's how you model others' success. You don't hate on others' success. You model it and you be grateful that they paved the way. They did a lot of the hard work for you. Remember, we're discovering how do we get a growth mindset. That's what we're doing, growing and evolving. Our next example of a growth mindset is ask yourself, what can you do better next time to make things work out for you? Hey, I was wrong for speaking to you like that. Next time, what I could do is speak to you in a different tone so you and I won't have any conflict. That's a growth mindset. You got to sometimes sit back and say, what could I have said better? What could I have done better? Sometimes you could correct yourself. It's okay to have those self-talk conversations with yourself because sometimes we act on impulse because everybody is human. We're humans. I know some people sit with their animals and listen to this podcast, but we're humans and we make mistakes. But always ask yourself, what could have I done better? Or even ask yourself, what part I played in this? I don't want to get too in depth with the what part I played in this because we have an issue with pointing the finger outward and we never look inside and say, what part did I play in this? What could I have done better? That's having a growth mindset. When you could literally have a conversation with yourself and not be afraid to have that conversation with yourself because of what others think. Oh, she crazy. Look at her over there talking to herself. No, I'm over here correcting myself because I'm wrong for engaging with you or whatever you want to say. But just ask yourself, what could you do better? What part you played in certain situations? Our next growth mindset example is, as long as you have determination, you could do anything and everything. I'm going to say this again. As long as you're determined to do things in this world, as a human, you could do anything and everything you want to do. You just make those decisions where others are not controlling your emotions, though. If there is a will, there is most definitely a way. I am determined to strive in my self-care business. For those that follow me and listen to the podcast and see how determined, every week I say I'm putting out a podcast. I'm working on my shea butters. I am working 24 hours a day. Sometimes I got to tell my mind, okay, JS Self-Care, take a break. But I'm so determined in where I'm heading with my business that I have the mindset of I can't stop and I won't stop until things are done. If God didn't close my eyes, I'm waking up and I am going to be determined to have an amazing day. My determination is going to be the lessons that I'm going to learn along the way. Because I'm determined. I'm not asking for gifts and all of that. I'm willing to do the hard labor and the hard work because I have a growth mindset. And you should too. Develop a growth mindset. It's dope on this side of the world. Our next growth mindset example that I wrote and studied was, you are a lifelong learner. You got to say that to yourself. Sometimes we have to say it to ourselves. That way we're not closed-minded. Be willing to learn every day and eliminate the closed-minded stuff. Stop sometimes and just listen to people. A lot of people will tell you stories and you'll say, wow, I didn't know that. You didn't know that because now you're learning it. Be a lifelong learner. A lifelong learner, I should say. You could do it. All you do is have to open your mind, open your ears, listen, and learn. That's what a lifelong learner does. Growth mindset. Our last example for tonight is be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's a growth mindset. We all love comfortability. Being uncomfortable, that requires work. Embarking on new and improved challenges can be so scary and very uncomfortable, but life should be uncomfortable sometimes. New challenges can be intimidating because of the unknown, but it's okay. You got this. Try to be uncomfortable in certain areas of your life. Let things shake and move. Don't sit in those take me as I am. I'm not changing for nobody, not even myself. I am way too old to be learning new things. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Have you ever heard, I'm not changing my ways? I know I heard it and said it. Take me as I am. I'm not changing shit about me. Well, I lived with a fixed mindset for many years. I really thought saying I wasn't going to grow and evolve and not do the work towards self-growth and evolving was okay because it was take me as I am or don't take me at all. I no longer have a fixed mindset. So in the beginning of this episode, I asked you, do you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Let's answer the question now. Write it down. Write it in your notes on your phone. Just write it down. Having a fixed mindset can limit your success and happiness in life because your mindset strongly influences your quality of life. Living with the right mindset is critical to being happy and gaining a sense of fulfillment. But in order to have the best mindset, you have to focus on strategies to help you get into the best belief system and optimize your full potential. Your mindset is the sum of your thoughts and beliefs that determine how you make sense of yourself, your immediate environment, and the world. I truly hope you all enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed recording it. I enjoy having the light bulbs go off. I'm smiling from ear to ear just to realize that I was once at a place with a fixed mindset. Guys, I'm so honest with you. I was like freak all that. Take me as I am. I'm a girl from the South Bronx. We do what we do, and that's it. I no longer do that. I no longer say that. I'm into growing and evolving, and I'm into doing new and better things because that's what life is all about. Sometimes you got to work through your past, most definitely, to get to your present. And once you're at your present, you can always say, I don't care about the future. I'm living in the moment. What is for me will be for me because I'm determined to be successful in my future. But I got to work on the moment because sometimes time passes and we're so much into one foot in the past and one foot in the future where we're not enjoying the moment. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If anyone wants to follow up or hire a life coach as me, JS Self Care, visit my website at jsselfcare.org. Make sure that we're following each other on social media. I'm on most platforms, not every single platform, but if you go to Google and put in JS Self Care, my Instagram, my Facebook, my LinkedIn will come up. Let's follow each other. Let's enjoy the self-care journey together. Have an amazing day, night, evening, week on purpose because you got this growth mindset.